Welcome back to week two. I'm phoning in from a new location. The studio is not set up yet, so I apologize for the shitty quality and horrible cameraing, but we'll get the studio set up and we'll be back at it here soon. What's going
At
on,
least we have
Ryan?
at least we have a studio. You know what I mean? I mean, as far as like shitty podcasts go, like think about how many shitty podcasts there are that don't have a studio.
Yeah, I mean, for the year and a half, a year and 8 months I was gone, I didn't have a studio and I was just doing it in my apartment with like a space back, like the one in the background I did the first time with like the spaceman behind
Oh
me.
yeah.
And it just,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny, like the feeling of when you're in a studio versus at home is like entirely different. Like, I don't know what it is about being at a location. I like am more like inclined to be like, let's get to work, like, let's do shit versus like I'm at my apartment. I'm just like, yeah, I'm here. I could also watch Netflix right now, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Is it a new studio or is it the same studio from before?
it's completely new. It's completely
Dude,
new.
because I remember the first time we went to the old studio and there was no AC and like the setup was good, but you're just fucking sweating so badly.
Dude, it was, oh my God, those were the rough days. Yeah, they had to like buy an AC unit, which like is just a funny
But
thing
it
in
didn't
itself.
work. It did. I remember they got the AC unit, and then it was like one of those like the old houses how they have like the in unit like
Yeah, the
ACs that are
box,
like on
dude.
like the box AC. I remember they got one of those, and then you had me come over, and you're like, oh, they have AC now, and it just wasn't, and it just like made no difference at
Yeah,
all.
so they ended up eventually fixing it, and we had like a really good one where it would actually be cold. But it was like the first, I think, like 10 episodes of my original podcast where like I have like the fan on and I had to like add this plug-in to where it would like take out the fan noise because otherwise you just hear in the background like like just
Dude, what's
the
funny
good old
is
days.
one of my buddies actually sells who also like sells software. He works for this company called Crisp, and I don't know if you've heard of it, but they use it for sales calls. It's basically what you're talking about, to where like it's some sort of tech that basically like anything that's without a certain radius of your mic, it just like cancels out all the noise. Because a lot of them, I guess, they take meetings at like airports and like shit like that. So they've gotten it to a point where it's like so freakily good. Like I could be in the airport and there's people like going behind me, and it just sounds like I'm just like here, quiet. So.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a
yeah,
big market for noise cancellation software.
it definitely helped out for sure. I mean, that was where, yeah, we were recording in the this dingiest of places, just like it was just like a folding table, like a beer pong table that we just had set up with like camera.
Yeah.
And there's no, so if I had people too, there were no cameras like on each side of us. It was just one camera in the front. Like it was just, yeah, it was fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, but we can go
I
back and look at
imagine
the old
like
days.
at like the gym they have those big ass fans, like they're literally called big ass fans. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
imagine one of those giant ass fans, and you're just like, guys, I promise I'll edit the sound out. It's just
whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I
So are
think,
we gonna do two cameras for when we're in the studio? We're gonna do like because you know how I know it's like a fucking shitty podcast. I don't really have any room to talk, but you know Logan Paul's podcast. I guess
impulsive.
Rogan does it too. Yeah. You know how
Yeah.
they have the cameras and then it switches to like whoever's talking?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways to do that, which is what I was trying to say yesterday. But like, yeah, essentially, we need at least two, potentially three cameras. I think we'll be fine with just like a regular USB one for the middle to show both of us. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
ideally, we're gonna want all three, and then it's gonna come down to us editing it all together. But that's how they do it too. It's like they don't do that on the
Yeah.
fly. I mean, we could have someone sit with us and do it on the fly, but like that is like very like I have to be very locked in for that. I don't know. I used to think that's
Yeah.
how they did it. I'm like a dummy when it comes to that. Like with any technology, I'm an idiot. In my head, I'm like, damn, they must have someone that sits there and flips between each other like that quick. And then I'm like, oh yeah, duh. They just record all four and then edit it
Yeah.
together to make one. But like
It
they
makes
don't know.
sense.
Yeah.
Because if you have two audio sources, then you pretty much just match up the audio spikes like in the synchronizer with the video. You know what I mean? Like you know
Yeah.
how you're in
I
any
mean,
editing
but
software in it. Yeah.
100%, 100%. I mean, we'll be doing the audio completely separate. We'll record the audio complete on its own thing. We might as well have the mixer and the mics and then the camera on, and we just line that up. But yeah, essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The real question before we talk about all your life stuff is who's our first target guest? Like who are we gonna? Because I mean we know some very interesting people, but like I don't know what direction we're trying to take. Because you've had some interesting guests too, but they were all kind of like within, not necessarily within like one bandwidth, but it was like focused on like all the EDM shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think we worry about guests when the time comes. I think we start. I think we crank out a bunch of just me and you. I think we get like an
Yeah.
established like 10 or 15 in. I don't want to put a number on it, but like, and then you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think we need to worry too much about guests yet. We do have some
True, but okay.
interesting people.
Okay, I was gonna say, but to be fair, when I am in Puerto Rico this next week, I know you already shot this down because of complications, but you're telling me that if I like either had a USB mic that I was passing around and like a wide angle camera, would it not be funny as shit for my half to be like in the downstairs studio? Because Brandon and them have like a sick ass studio downstairs. I can be in the studio with me, Brandon, Ryan, and Austin.
You need to definitely show me what happens. Like, you need to show me what
Yeah.
the studio looks like, and I'll
It's
go from there.
we're gonna try it because that's like a conveniently good one, but we'll
I
see how
talk.
that goes.
I've been talking to Brandon, and talking to him a lot about marketing stuff and for
Hmm.
their, what they do. And I think I'm gonna get. I think he's gonna get in on the content game. I think he's been
Yeah,
talking more with me about it, and I'm like, you definitely need to. Like, I think it's funny because like it's been a goal, like almost a goal of mine to get everyone doing this in my life because I'm like, it'd be
trend center.
great to just have
Yeah,
everyone be doing content because if we're all on the same level, it's like because it's hard. Like, dude, the first 2 years, really the first year, I didn't know anyone. Like, obviously, I met people starting to like doing it, and like that obviously helps. But like when you don't know anyone or like no one in your life can relate to it, it's very hard to like talk about like the ups
yeah,
and downs and like the creator block, like because that's a real thing. You don't think it is, but then like you have moments where you're like you might be hitting it good. Like you might be having like a good 3 month stretch of like getting good views, getting good likes, getting good like follower count going up, and you're like, and then all of a sudden it just hits you, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing? And you just have
plateau.
this weird moment of like a week or two where you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I doing this? Yada yada. And then you have to have someone like, and any friend can like be like, no, dude, you're doing great, but like they don't understand the back end of it. And when you have someone who
Hmm.
understands the back end of it, they're like, yeah. You just got to do like X, Y, Z a little bit different, change up your schedule, like whatever it is. Like it's entirely different to have people doing it. So I'm like
Yeah,
super pumped to get you in it, Brandon in it, and get people going like really. Cause like in my head, I'm like,
yeah.
how much fun? I don't want to be like, it kind of sounds like that. I don't want to be like the fucking, the Nelk boys and like those groups of guys that do shit together. But like, to
Fuck
be
no.
fair, like that's what makes it fun is when it's like you and the boys doing shit and like you
Yeah.
post it and just do it. Like that's what makes it fun. I don't want to be like them. I want to be ourselves, but like ideally that's what's going to be fun. Like that's what's going to make
Well,
this
yeah,
go
it
crazy.
allows you to collaborate and be creative because we all like do our own shit by ourselves. Like that's what's funny is because like especially like all the videos we film together, like we meet up for these trips, but then we have like entirely separate lives where we're just doing our own shit. You know what I
Right.
mean? We're not like we don't even hang out on like a daily basis, but you, me, and Brandon, all them talk all the time. So it's
Yeah.
funny, like even when like because I've been kind of like half ass, half in, like in and out of it over the past 2 years, and I'm like finally starting to take it seriously. But even just recording stuff, like you're better at this than me. When I'm like doing it something that like I want to document and I'm with a big ass group of people, sometimes it's just weird, to be like filming stuff and like try and like it's just like you want to like get the right like it's just weird, you know what I mean? But when you and me are doing like at least when I have one other person in the group doing it, it's kind of like okay, like now it's not like when you and me are on hiking trips together, it's just like understood. It's like things are going to be recorded. Like it just kind of has to be that way.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like I have to take his toy away, the dog. But sorry, don't bark at me. The that's dude, that's funny too. Is like I have a vivid memory, and I've talked about this on a different on my own podcast of like starting out vlogging is like the weirdest thing you could do. Like it's just you have like you're just like you think it's so easy because you see people do it. You see like Logan Paul, you see Casey Neistat, and like these people just you're like I can do that. I can talk in front of the camera, and then you like do it, and you watch your first ones, and they're just boring as hell. The
Mm-hmm.
I have the vivid memory I have is of when we went to Vegas, and it was the Millennium Trilogy weekend. And I told myself, this is the weekend I start vlogging. And all I remember was I literally have like one, two maybe clips of us like me in the hotel, like, we're going to see Excision on Friday. Let's get it. And then like nothing, dude. There's nothing else. There's no more. Nothing else was good whatsoever. And the funniest thing from that weekend is our hiking in Zion. And I'm like, I'm gonna record the hike. I'm on it. And I am at the time I was like blazed when we went on that hike, and I thought I was recording a lot, and I like went home and I like put it all together. I put it all together and it wasn't even edited, not even edited yet. It was like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It was horrible, dude. It was horrible. And it was just like
Yeah.
me, like, but it's just it's a matter of starting. And that's what I was getting at. Like it is super weird to start, and like you're gonna have these weird growing. Like my first vlog, official vlog of like 10 minutes was at Izu. And like even that, if you look at from that to now, there's a lot more difference. And like even I would say I'm still have a lot more to learn. Like there's so much to like learn and grasp in that field. And it definitely takes time. It's like yes, some people are natural at it, but like there is so much of a learning curve of like
Yeah.
getting it right, finding your voice. Like, yeah, and because I feel comfortable on camera now, and like that's the thing is like I felt comfortable on this, so in my head I'm like I should be fine to be on the GoPro
It's
anywhere.
different.
When you're in public and
Yeah.
like people are watching, oh my god, and like I still have moments where like I'm in the airport, I'm like I don't know if I should do this, and then I'm like I gotta do it. Like I gotta get out of that mindset because you know what? People don't give a fuck. People don't
Yeah,
care.
they really don't care. No,
Like
nobody
once you,
cares. It's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
All the
Now, what?
NPCs at the airport aren't gonna notice.
No, no. And you know what's another animal though is your phone, TikToking
Yeah.
and pulling out the phone and record it and talk. That is another animal.
It's almost worse.
I am just starting to get that.
It's
Like it,
almost worse. Like there's something about the GoPro when you're recording with the GoPro, people like around you. Like obviously I don't give a fuck what people think, but I can tell this is what people's like are thinking. Like when you have the GoPro out, it's like clearly like you're doing it like for memories. You know what I mean? Like you see like the annoying tourists all the time with the GoPro on the stick and they're like recording. But when people takes the phone out, it almost seems more vain. You know
you know
what I
what?
mean?
You know what else? My theory is with this. The GoPro has like its name. It's like this brand, and not
Yeah.
everyone has one. So when they see it, they're
Yeah.
like,
They're like that guy tries.
that
Like,
guy's got a
yeah.
GoPro. He's doing shit. Like it's something about
Yeah.
like
He's
I
doing shit.
dude,
That's
it's
a
I
real that's a
swear.
he's got something going on there.
That's what the like they see that and they're like, oh, like dude, because even at like festivals, I can pull out the GoPro and people are like way more like I'm on
Open to
camera.
being
Like
on
they get way
camera.
more into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
excited. Like, and then I pull out my phone and put it in their face. Like, get that shit out of my face,
Yeah.
bro.
I've definitely noticed that. Yeah. I side note, I've got a couple asides for that. One, GoPro 11 Hero Black comes in tomorrow.
Nice.
I got the full bundle, like all the shit. It's a GoPro Plus subscription, so that's dope. And then, dude, about the it's funny because like about the editing and stuff. I'm finally going back and editing all the vlogs I've recorded over the past 2 years, like the crazy road trip, all the trips we've taken. So I'm finally like chopping up all that footage. I was going through my old camera bag and I finally found a bunch of SD cards that had all those old trips. So I'm like editing the Zion footage and all that stuff. And the one thing I realized about it that like I didn't realize with filming is like the same thing you were saying. Like I had enough footage, but I didn't record any B-roll. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'd recorded so much like me doing things, and then when you go to edit it, you realize it's like jumpy. There's like you have to not only record like with the whole thing in mind, but even with like the Washington trip I went on, I've just been intentionally recording B-roll, just like random shit. Because when you watch YouTube videos, it's not all just like some guy like fucking like, oh hey, like I'm doing this and that. Like there's cut scenes and shit. So yeah, it took me until I started actually editing to realize like how shitty I was recording stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and I wouldn't say like mine are even that good. And like, there's definitely more editing I can do for mine. A lot of, but what you said, it hit home is like the idea needs to be in your head of like, what do I want this video to be like? And
Yeah.
then go from there. And like, something I wasn't doing, which I've been trying to get better at the last few festivals and stuff is like, right at the beginning of the video, you need to state like what this is going to be and what you're doing. And then show it. And then at the end, it just needs to be quick, like, this is the end. Thanks, subscribe. Like it needs to have
Mm-hmm.
that beginning and that end, which I like
Yeah.
I'm good about the beginning, but a lot of the times like I get home at night and I like just immediately forget to do it. Like I get
Mm-hmm.
back to the apartment or the tent if we're camping and I'm like, I just forget and I just put the
Yeah.
GoPro down and I go right to bed. And then it's like,
It's
fuck,
over.
I don't have an ending. And just so it's
Yeah.
like quick, it's music and then just cuts and it's done. And I
Yeah.
like so there's definitely a learning curve with that. And like you said, the planning of it is very key of like, hey, again, it's like huge tell like you have to have it in your mind like what you want to show and what you want to do. And then you have to be able to convey that to your audience within like the first 10, 15 seconds. Like, hey, we're going to, whatever it is, let's take Zion. We're going to Zion, we're hiking Emerald Ponds, we're going to see all three ponds. Let's go do this. Boom, done. And then you can
Yeah.
start.
Hook.
Something of
Call
that
to
nature.
action.
Yeah,
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 I like keeping it consistent too. Like what I've been doing with the vlogs is every vlog, like I'll start off in my fucking living room and just be like, okay, we're about to do this shit, and then like clap, transition, and then you're there. You know what I mean? And like
yeah.
get from like like hook, like this is like you said, like stating this is what it's gonna be about, and then like boom, like we're there. Because I don't want too much like I realize a lot of times, like with, I'll edit down a bunch of shit that I'll record just because it's just filler. You know what I mean? It's like the same concept with TikTok and then just apply it on like a wider scale to videos. Because the goal of it's like the same thing with copywriting. Like the goal of TikTok is just to get them to watch the next second and then to watch the next second. You know what I mean? So like anything in between, you just like literally cut out. Even if you shave off like a quarter second in between, like between videos, like it's important. And the same thing with videos. Like most videos that are 12 minutes, like really can be like 7 minutes. Like they don't have to be that long.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, truth be told, it doesn't matter how short or long the video is. If it's entertaining, they're gonna watch it. Like it just is.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what it comes down to. It's like pure and simple. Like that's the beauty of it. Like the beauty of YouTube, and like it will show things that people like, and like if because it's pure. Like if they watch it, the watch time is high, it gets sent, and if
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't get like it's that simple. Like it's literally
Yeah.
so like now there are some different keys of like when you should post. Like if you have festival vlogs, because that's what I do mainly, like it's very important for me to get those out within a week after the festival. Like the quicker the better. If I can
Sooner
turn
the
in
better.
the first
Yeah.
2 days, the better it is. But then like travel stuff, it's kind of like well, people can go to that any time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
If you can hit, oh, not every time, but like any time
Well,
of the
it's
year.
more evergreen. Like it has
Yeah,
like a
yeah, yeah,
continual
yeah,
life cycle.
yeah.
Yeah, and like sometimes you'll see videos where it's like big YouTubers and they'll be like my trip to Japan and they're like doing all this crazy shit. And the minute's like the video's like 5 minutes long. Think about it. Like they went to Japan for a week and a half. Think about how much like shit they did, how much footage they had, and then ended up chopping down a week's worth of shit down to 5 minutes. And it's like
yeah.
because these are the 5 minutes that are like absolutely like the most like best screen time sort of stuff. But then we'll be doing stuff for like 2 days and have like a 15-minute video, and it's like, yeah, it needs to be like compress. Like shorter is usually better. It's very rare I watch a 25-minute YouTube video. You know what I mean? We're fucking monkeys with
You know,
little
I
peanut
disagree with that.
brains.
I disagree with that
You
because I
do?
do watch 25-minute videos sometimes.
Like
Like
what though?
I just, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I'm not one to watch vlogs and stuff too much unless I'm watching it from like a perspective of trying to learn. But like, there's definitely other videos that like when I put together, like if it's on something I want to learn, like I'm gonna watch for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely
Oh,
the
that
audience
yeah,
is there.
that's different.
Like
That's
I can tell
different.
you right now, one of my most viewed vlogs is that Ultra Music Festival vlog, and I did it for like I think it was like 17. I'll look at it right now. I think it's like
For
17
one
minutes
day.
for one day. It's like 17 minutes long, and it's got the most
Damn.
views. Like
Well,
it does, and
Ultra
then I've
also
had.
has I think
Like,
a lot of that has to do with Ultra has like a very wide appeal. I think there's a lot of people that don't go to Ultra that want to know what Ultra's like. I feel like that's like a very like hot keyword as far as like festival searches
I mean, I'm not denying
goes.
that, but like what I mean is, it's crazy that that one has the most views, and it continually
Yeah.
gets the most views.
What are the analytics on like watch time? Like are people like do you think people are like watching a lot of it?
It shows that they are. Yes,
Well
yes.
then yeah, that's then the algorithm is probably pumping that shit because if a video's long, that's like the double-edged sword. If a video's longer, but then people still retain a long watch time, then it'll get like double promoted in the algorithm.
Yeah, 100%. I gotta find it, but I was trying to go through it, but it's way back
Yeah.
there.
I haven't even watched that yet. That from that goofy ass day, from that whack ass festival.
That was so it's 17 minutes and 30 seconds.
Damn.
It has 1,800 views, which is good for my
Nice.
channel. Nothing crazy,
Yeah.
but for my channel starting out, it's pretty nice. Let's go to analytics. I'll look real quick.
Isn't it crazy how you can upload like this fucking high effort, like took you hours to make like a whole day to film YouTube video and you get 2K views and then I'll just upload the most like stupid thing on shorts and it's like bam, 3K views like off rip.
Um, Average percentage viewed is like 24%.
That's good though for a 17-minute video.
Yeah, yeah, that's
That's
pretty
pretty
good.
good considering 1,800 people, but yeah, but enough about content stuff. First of all, like give us an update on the studio. Like what's the expectancy on the studio? What to expect?
Yeah, so well, we should start with let's start with the
Okay, probably start at the beginning. Yeah, I
yeah,
guess there's yeah.
what is going on in the life of Babs.
Yeah.
It's been quite a doozy the last week and a half. So got laid off of the job I was at, which we are pretty happy about. Not to sound like I don't want to sound too excited,
Lazy.
but like pretty great. It's mainly because of just the inner workings of the company, and I'm not going to go into all that, but like maybe we can touch on that another time. But there are things, and as you know, and some people in my life know, like I've been trying to leave, like wanting to leave and try to get a job, but I was being a lot more picky with the jobs and like blah blah blah, and now, and I wanted to get back into Florida, wanted to be in Tampa where I could have a studio, where I could see my friends, where I can be close to the boys, and and have my life here versus being in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't I should say it wasn't like
Yeah,
really
clarify where the middle of nowhere is.
yeah, I used to live in Greenville, South Carolina, which isn't the worst. It's a very cute little town. If you I would highly recommend it if you and your lady of a couple years or wife want to go on a little vacation. It's the cutest little town to go do that
Or
in.
man, we don't judge.
Yeah, or man, yeah, or yeah, whatever. I don't care. Take your significant other there is what I'm saying. It's beautiful. It's a great romantic weekend away. But that's about it. It's not really great for just living, in my opinion, unless you're older. So, but I digress. Moved on to what was I saying? Someone's calling me. Decline. They'll be all right. But I so got laid off, and then I was like, well, I want to move to Tampa anyways, so let's get to it. Let's not hesitate. Let's not wait around. I want to live here. I want to work here. So I basically packed up my stuff within like 4 or 5 days. Most of my stuff. I still have stuff in Greenville because I am having my apartment there. But yeah, I mean, we got to Tampa 2 days ago, and couldn't be more excited for the new beginnings. So we're back in Tampa. We've got a brand new studio. If you've watched the Babs Life podcast, you can see the old one, but that's no longer there. We have a brand new one, and it'll be hopefully we can get that up. I can get that up and running. We've got some things we need to buy and get ready for it, but for these specific Zoom podcasts, we're great. We're golden with that. That'll be fine. Today was just a hassle to get there. I was coming from Tampa to with the location of the studio, and there was just so much traffic, and home was just quicker to get to. So I was like, I'm just gonna go home. We're gonna deal with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should have a studio hopefully set up by next week, and at least for Zoom purposes, will be set up next week. They already have their stuff ready and rocking and rolling in that, and it's a cool little spot and stuff that they got going on. They're doing a bunch of stuff with. They got their shoe company. They're doing something with baseball cards. They've got Amazon shipments coming in and out. They're doing a lot of resell and stuff. They're doing these like live mystery boxes too, where they're like selling $900 worth of items in like an hour.
That's it. What like on what like live where?
He sent it to me. It's some here, I can pull it up. I forget what it is.
Dude, because that'd be dope to do on TikTok live.
That might be what they're doing.
That would be
they're doing
fucking
it
sick.
They're doing it on whatnot.com, but I think
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, they're doing it on that.
There's a big community for stuff like that.
Yeah, they've got a whole thing going, and I'm fortunate they're letting me get involved with it now that I'm back home. So I'm going to be dipping my hands in that a little bit. Plus being there in the studio, and I've got about like 4 weeks here before I really kind of have to have a job. But so I'll be working
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but I wouldn't mind. I don't like being broke.
Yeah.
I like having money coming in, and I don't know. It's like for me, it's like it's like the last thing I needed to be like chopped off to like just start fresh again. Obviously, the other stuff in my life and whatnot. So leaving Greenville, leaving that job is like the last bit of that like old life in my head. And I'm like, boom, I'm back. I get ready to start going. And like, not only that, I've been, which we've talked a little bit about here and there, but trying to get back in like my hustle mode and stuff like that. Finally, feeling like that is kind of falling into place too, and sticking with the programs and places of that. Not to get back to content, but like it, that's a big part of it. And
it all comes back to content.
It all comes back to content.
It's like that meme. It's like it's all content. It always
It was.
was.
Yeah, yeah. That's Gary V to a T. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah, that's a big move. I mean, that's there's not much else. It's just been one thing. It's been quick, that's for sure. It's
Yeah.
been quick.
Definitely the first I say the first time that I make it in the studio because next week we'll I don't know if we're gonna do another one after this, but I'm gonna record from the hopefully we'll do the fun little collab episode from Puerto Rico next week. And then the week after that I'll be in Mexico, but I'm still down to record. So I'll have some fun stuff to talk about. I'll be in Tulum, Mexico. And then after that we'll be back in Florida. So I will come.
Florida.
So maybe Florida. So maybe like 3 weeks from now, I'll be in the studio, and we should do the little pod, and then run over to the Hard Rock and make a little vlog. A little live gambling degeneracy. I think that
God.
could be a yeah.
We'll see where I'm at. I might go in video, but I'll see where I'm at financially. I don't
No,
think they
yeah,
will let you bring
you
cameras in and stuff.
yeah. As long as you're not like recording like the hands and stuff, like poker is obviously a lot different, but like yeah, you can there's tons of people that like record. We can even wear like body mics and stuff or body cams and stuff like that. Like they allow you to do that. There's people that stream on like TikTok and shit and go and gamble. I think that would be fun. And yeah, so and then yeah, so I'll be in the studio more often than not. I got to get this situated a little bit more, but yeah, and then we can start bringing some people on. There's some interesting people in the Tampa area. Dude,
Yeah.
that actually that reminds me. Have you listened to Taboo's podcast before, or you know about
Um,
it?
once before I know about it. Yeah, I like his. I liked it when I did listen to it.
Yeah, Brian and Luke just went on from
I
Elevator
saw that
8.
today. I did
Yeah,
see that
how's
today.
dude? It's so crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that is crazy. I need to get them on the Babs Life one too. I'm trying to
Yeah,
read
no,
that.
we can definitely do that. I actually have a meeting with Brian. It was supposed to be it's actually supposed to be today, but I'm gonna move it till like 2 weeks from now. I have some business stuff that I'm gonna help them with Elevate 8, like with some marketing stuff. I just launched the agency yesterday, soft plug. And then I'm about to go link up with Brandon. Brandon's got some agency stuff me and him are gonna work on together. So yeah, we can definitely get Brian and Luke to either come chop it up here with us, and we could definitely get them on the actual Babs podcast. And
What do you mean you're starting an agency?
well, I started an agency already, so I'm doing like a couple different. Like it's a marketing agency, obviously. So I'm gonna do if the opportunity comes up, I'll kind of do some of what I used to do, which is like sales funnel, remote closing. But I'm mostly gonna do SEO and marketing automation work. So mostly SEOs for like rentals and Airbnb businesses, and then marketing automation in like the e-commerce industry. So like content retainers, like workflows and automations, like on the back end, like engineering side. So I'm doing that, and then I'm actually when I'm going to be in Puerto Rico this next week, me and Brandon and David and Austin and Ryan. Brandon is looking to get into the marketing agency world too, and I think that's kind of like what the content stuff comes back to because I've realized like what I want to start doing too, and what we can do with this podcast and just with everything. Like the best way, if you don't have like a huge platform to like get people interested, is to like document the journey. You know what I mean? So if
Yeah,
we start a podcast, like obviously like we record the pod, we post it, we chop it up, short form clips, like whatever. But like we record like the behind the scenes, like the setting up the podcast, the like getting the studio ready, the like getting guests on. Like people want to see the journey almost as much as they want to see like the actual content. So if I
right.
start an agency, obviously the end goal is successful agency, but it gives me more content. You know what I mean? So I can record like first day setting up the agency, like document my journey to like the first actual client. Luckily enough, I already have someone that I'm about to start working with, so I can like document the journey, hopefully help people to where they can replicate it. And then Brandon's in on that, and he's looking to start the whole content thing. Like we said, it's just more shit to fucking show people, I guess. Just record
Yeah, no,
everything.
I'm curious on the agency stuff more. I didn't even know you were doing that or into that. So,
Yeah, I did a soft launch of the website, but website needs a lot of work. But yeah, it's mostly outbound anyway, so the website won't matter too much. But yeah, taking a lot of stuff that I do like with the software company that I work with, and yeah, kind of applying that to my own agency. But we'll have a chat about that in private.
no, we definitely need to because I always wanted to
Yeah.
go. We're almost out of time here, but I have a call coming up in a week or so with that COO guy again
Hmm.
and his daughter who has her own marketing agency, but she does just social media management and content management for companies.
Yeah.
I want to get in on that. So I've always wanted to get into that.
That's
And
more yours to be like SMMA, and I mean that's
yeah,
pretty much what Lily does, right?
yeah, to an extent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I obviously we don't need to get into my previous life. But you know that what was going
Hmm.
on and blah, blah, blah. And I just feel like now I need to get back into it and get back into the pace of things. Cause I
Yeah.
definitely put all that on the back burner for like the last year and a half. And I'm like, okay, that was wrong because that wasn't even me. Like I'm way more true to myself and living my life when I'm like in hustle mode. And I wasn't doing that the last year.
Yeah.
So
Well, you can leverage like what you already do with TikTok, like it's almost your resume. You know what I mean? Like what you do on social media is your resume. To where when you want to have clients, like a lot of people when they start an agency, they do things for free or very cheap at first to get referrals. Build a book of
yeah.
business, customer success stories. But I mean, you like are your own success story. You know what I mean? Like to an extent, like your platform is like what you use to like show people, like, hey, you want me to make UGC for your business, like run your social media, like content creation. Like I already do this for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely
that's
part of it. I
yeah.
definitely think I need to be a bit bigger, but yes, yeah, yeah. We'll get into all that. Definitely want to know more about that just because I didn't even know that you were doing that. Well, I want to know about, I want to learn more SEO
You
too,
just
because I think that's just,
emoted on me.
I think it's just a super, super important thing. But we're about out of time here. Hopefully we definitely, we didn't hit any of the topics that we had, which is okay, but we hit a bunch of the other stuff that was important to get out of the way.
Yeah, we had to catch up on the rest of it. But yeah, next time we do this, either we'll do another one here or I'll be in a different place with different characters and then we'll be in the studio soon enough. And also we'll have in the once this gets posted in the description, we'll have the link to all the social media shit and whatever else we want to plug. So the
Yeah.
branding will be figured out by the time your eyes are watching this,
Yeah, yeah.
everything
We'll
else will
have
be
that
figured out.
figured out in the next couple of weeks, hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully sooner.
Yes, for sure. All right, my dude. Enjoyed the
All right,
podcast.
boss
Take
man.
care. See you, dude.